For one else, Aloud, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Aloud, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mayor. And I would like to say thank you to Councilman Schultz for your work on this case. This is definitely a hard case. Despite me not agreeing with the majority of who we heard from, I do want to thank y'all for coming down and for advocating. I did just bury the headline. I definitely support this project. I think this is exactly the type of density development that we should be welcoming into the city. In fact, if we look back at probably the most recent contentious argument that came up around this horseshoe, it was about an update of our Forward Dallas comprehensive land use plan in our city. The argument that I heard in opposition of what that plan was going to do was infiltrate single family neighborhoods with dense development. This is absolutely not. This is actually showing where this makes the most sense. I can assure you that it's probably the biggest misconception. I can't tell you anything in my words that's going to make you leave with any more ease when it comes to this point that I'm going to make, but I can assure you that one of the things that my eyes have been opened up to on zoning cases is it's probably the biggest misconception that multifamily and very dense multifamily developments increase crowd. It's just not. It doesn't materialize. It doesn't. It's not like an office building, for instance. An office building with half the amount of suites than a development with double the amount of units. You're going to have more traffic from a development of something that is meant to attract people around the same time and where there's actual rush hour. The transient schedules of those living in a multifamily development is so variable that you are not going to see any type of concentration specifically. In fact, I would argue that because of the restaurants and retail that this is going to bring to the area, the traffic that you all are going to witness most is going to be from y'all coming out of your single family neighborhoods to patronize the businesses that exist here. We've seen it at other developments across the city. You can shake your head all you want, but I can promise you that's what you're going to look forward to. People that want to move into this type of a development, just like you have over at Mockingbird Station, for instance, in City Place or City Square, City Place or Uptown, West Village. Most people that are moving there are looking to not get in their car. They're looking to have a walkable work, live, play type of an environment. They are not going to be the contributors to the parking or the traffic inside of this development. I also just want to point out just that there's a very rare time that you can be on the same side of the issue as both Philip Kingston and Lee Kleinman. And so with that rarity, I would like to take that opportunity as well. I know we heard different comments, some that contradicted each other in other comments, but the data points are the data points. And I know that changes were made. I know that there was extensive community engagement. I understand that the community engagement did not materialize to what it is that the loudest voices wanted. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't extensive community engagement opportunities. I know that not even in a district in the north, have heard from a ton of people. And I'll be honest with you, not everybody just wants to show up and be on the mic. We've gotten a ton of emails that are in support as well. It's not just in opposition. We've heard from a lot of people in the area. And just to say that there was clearly an organized effort to mount opposition. I think that Mr. Kleinman made a really good point. If I'm getting a notice from something and it's asking me to respond one way or the other, I'm most likely going to respond if I want my voice heard because I don't want it there. If I ignore it completely and throw it into the trash with the other junk mail, it's because I'm okay with it coming. And that's why we didn't hear from quite a bit of residents. Overall, I believe this is going to be a great development. We have heard from council members about our tax base being such a priority. This is going to be a great development that is going to help your area in a lot of ways, and quite frankly, something that our district would be welcoming. So for that, I do support it, and thank you for your work on it, Councilmember Schultz. Thank you, Mayor.
Chairman Arnold, 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. In listening today, and I have had conversations in listening about the compromise that the community was willing to engage in. You Schultz, I'm sure, Councilwoman Schultz, you are doing what you are doing as a council member. So just quickly, this is what I was listening for, maybe an opportunity to work this out. We've got a ton of emails, you know that. And so when we thought we were going to have a vote in the fall, we went out to District 4 staff, went out to Pepper Square. Nobody knew we were coming. I wasn't trying to grandstand, but I needed to know. So when I went there, and I posted some pictures on my Facebook page, so for my what some people call receipts. So I went to Pepper Square, and I'm standing under the sign. That's number one. This was on Sunday afternoon after church, and I know I took a picture of this car. That car could not. It was on a Sunday. I know that car could not even get out of that driveway, just sitting there because of the dynamics. I don't know if you're synchronization of the lights or what. I was just shocked. So we traveled, I looked at the shops that are there. I looked at the decline and some of the other, the shops. Hobby Lobby was there. Next door, there was a group of young people, maybe, I say young people, but folks with a young spirit on that Sunday playing, what is it, corn pole, whatever that whole is. They were having a good time. And we talked to some of them, and some of them were in favor of this project, some against. But what we eventually did, we moved into the community. And so the community is absolutely beautiful, but it's a single family community. It's one that I would like to live in. It's one where we also, let me just walk on before someone starts saying it's not germane, and I'm not going to be bothered by that today because we're talking about a resident community. So we drove, we went through the neighborhoods around the curve, we went to the school. The school was having a Oktoberfest or something that day. I think it was October 20th. So I've talked to the principal, I've talked to the teachers, I played the games, I've talked to some of the parents. And so we're talking about everyday living in a community. So what my concern is that if you have the density that was being described at the time, I'm concerned about the children who want to walk to school. I'm concerned about all of the traffic because now I'm going to try to avoid Preston, I guess, in Beltline. I got a picture of that street sign there. So we're going to avoid that, and we're going to try to go through the neighborhood. And so all of these things, and so you have this additional traffic, you have buses that are coming now, parents are trying to walk their children, and this is where I am. I'm a parent with 4 children, who at one time we could walk them to school if we wanted to do that. But all of that to me, and this is to me, additional traffic, and I'm listening about the traffic that's not going to happen. That's off the chain to me. All right. And so I can't see this coming in a community where you have the children and the families. I've met some of the neighbors. I met one neighbor, and I thought he was going to jump on me. He was already, I told him about the city council. He was like, wait a minute, hold on. He was frustrated. I'm like, hold on. I'm here just to gather data. And so we had a good conversation. Is it Kiowa Park? Is that how you pronounce that? I went in, took a picture there, Kiowa. The bottom line is that in my case, as I'm experiencing, I'm not experiencing I don't want this in my backyard. Y'all know I would call it that. This is called, if I lived in this neighborhood, I would probably be right down here today. This is what I'm telling you. If I live in Glen Oaks, I'm going to have the same feeling about what's being described. But trying to work it out, I was listening to see if we could. But the children in that neighborhood trying to walk to school, get an education, parents who enjoy that. Now, it's a beautiful neighborhood. I've got to give it to you. Just a single family zone. And so I may have to come back. But if you want to go on my Facebook and see what I look like on that Sunday and want to check me out, check my receipts, you're welcome to do that. But at this point, council members, I know we hear that about not in my backyard, and I got it. But what I also know is this is my conviction. There is an attack on single-family neighborhoods. You can call it whatever you want to call it, and I can talk about it in my next 3 minutes.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you
come back
very
with my
much.
3
Really
minutes.
appreciate you got 3 minutes coming back.
Thank you.
Anytime. Chairman Middleton, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I move to defer this item to August 13th. I'd like a record vote, please.
Any discussion?
I think the residents have done an excellent job with the discussion.
Go ahead.
This is debatable, right?
Debate. Yes.
I would say I'm not going to support this. I think that it's safe to say now, after 3 full terms, I've seen 2 rounds of freshmen, and I would hate to see a colleague that was coming in and doesn't know where the bathrooms are in City Hall have to take this case on to get through. So I understand the tactic and the attempt to kill this in a way that's unconventional. But I also believe that just as we heard from speakers, it's important to listen to the voters, right? The voters have a representative here for the district, and we've seen leadership through this process. So to say that there is any lack of democratic process to have representation through this is absolutely false. This is before us. Leadership is not punting the ball. Leadership is not taking the path of least resistance. We were elected to make hard decisions, and hard decisions are not always going to be ones that are the easiest route or those that are going to have the loudest voice. A deferral is, let's call it what it is. There's a reason why that you went this route instead of making a motion that could be actually trying to kill it. Instead, this is an attempt to do so. I do not think that it is a very genuine approach. I don't think that it's something that lets the fate of y'all's community or what it is that y'all are fighting for linger on for another half of a year. We are here at the Horseshoe. We've just heard from the community. We've heard from a lot of other people, and I think that we need to make a decision here today, regardless of what that decision is and where it goes. Thank you.
With that, look like Ms. Millicent. Look out, the chairman of the bars. You spoke, Ms. Millicent?
Well, I didn't. I said that I was going to just let it stand with what they said, but I would like to respond to what my colleague said. First of all, I was not making a motion to kill it. I was making a motion that would enable an actual conversation to happen. 3 out of 4 candidates from District 11 have spoken today. They're here. They're opposed. They're wearing a yellow shirt. Yes.
You made a motion that you spoke, so I need to go to the.
Well, I didn't speak. I said I didn't want to speak because they had already.
You speak?
Pardon?
Only go ahead and speak. Go ahead and speak. Go ahead. I'll let you go.